There you go. So we're gonna do a quick introduction again because we're recording for other teachers to look at our videos later, and actually for you guys as well. So my name is David Hernandez. I'm a curriculum writer at the Illinois Mathematics and in Science Academy, IMSA. Um, before IMSA, I was in the classroom with math and physics for middle school and high school, which is my background. I'm just gonna go around the room, and if you can just mention your name, the school that you're from, and what do you teach over there? All right, Lydia.
Hey, I'm Lydia Gillis. I teach STEM to 5th through 8th graders at Cambridge Lake Charter School.
Thank you.
I'm Preston Shimura. I teach at Lyons District 103 George Washington Middle School. I teach 7th grade math.
Natasha.
And I'm Natasha Shimura. I teach at Lyons District 103 George Washington Middle School. I teach computer skills 6, 7, and 8.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So now if you go to your file, okay, to your folder, you're gonna have a bunch of let me just share my screen real quick. You're gonna have some files in there. Can you see my screen? All right. All right. So shipping. Okay. So this is the list of files that I'm assuming you have. Is that correct? All right.
Yes.
So we're gonna start with the first one. I'm gonna share right away the teacher pages. Once again, teacher pages, we call teacher pages of pretty much all the background information, standards, all the if you have to do something before you teach it, a little bit of the background. So all that we call them teacher pages. So it's gonna be right here. Now in there, okay, I'm not gonna ask you to read any of this, okay, because that's gonna be for later for you when all your free time that we have as teachers. You can feel free to read all that stuff and to go into the standards and organize them and all the stuff. But all this information, this is what you need for your lesson plans. The objectives, all the stuff that you need for to create those lesson plans, background information and all that. So we're gonna skip all that and we're gonna go through here. So if you could open this website right here. Okay, so just double click. And you're gonna find something like this. Now the connection, okay, if you think about the careers education, which is big right now, or the career education that we're are facing our students with, is what's the real world? What's the connection to real jobs, and all that. So why do I need to learn math, science, computers, all that stuff, even English and social studies and all that? What's in for me? So this job is pretty much, it's called logistics specialist. So every time you ship a package, okay, you get a tracking number, right? And that tracking number is going to tell you where your package is located at, and it pretty much is what's the vehicle or transportation facility that the package is at. So this is just a very good introduction for the activity. So if you click on any of these little squares and rectangles, you will find something pretty cool.
Cool.
Which is the actual picture of the container, the boat. Now these are different, obviously totally different transportation facilities. But what kind of information can you get out of this? Just if you click at it, just I'm gonna give you a couple minutes. Okay, so that's the question that we're gonna answer. click on it, okay? And just to see, I'm gonna ask you for three facts that you're gonna get from this piece of information. Okay, so think about it, and when I call your name, you're gonna give us 3 facts based on the information that you're getting. Okay, so this is one of those things that you're gonna play with it. Okay, you wanna play with it, let your students play with it, and I want you to think about 3 things. Okay, 3 facts that you're gonna share with the rest of the class. Okay, so I'll give you a couple minutes. Play with it. Click around, play with it. Okay, we're ready. Let's see, Natasha, could you please share with us 3 facts that you found on this section?
So I found when the ship left port, in some of them, it didn't give when it was gonna arrive at the final port.
Okay.
And then it went down. If you clicked one of the buttons, I can't remember now what you had to press,
Okay.
but you could see what stops they made in between.
Perfect. All right. Yep. Go ahead, Preston.
I was gonna say, the other thing I thought was really cool was it showed the maximum depth of the ship, also where the ship is currently, so how far into the water it is. So you can easily have them do range. It also had a lot of interesting stuff like the distance between where they're going from one place to the next.
Yep.
And I mean, that was, yeah. And then also the size of the ship, which I think would be awesome for volume and for how much
Exactly.
cargo you could put on there.
Yep. No, this is very cool. This is a very, very good site, and it's totally free. Lydia.
How to tie in what Preston said, how fast the boat is going, so how many knots. And then just on the side, I was like, okay, the little boats are boats, the little anchors are the ports. And then there was another one. Wait, what was it? Oh, I don't think that's the exact picture of the boat, but it's kind of cool because it says it's a sailing boat, but then there were ships. And
Yes.
my brain started thinking, so wait a minute. So what is it? Just by any means necessary? Okay, you're going somewhere. Okay, put this stuff on here, and then until you get over here, then it'll go on the main boat, then they're going to ship. So that's what I was thinking. Like, is this why it takes my stuff so long?
I mean, imagine, right? I mean, you pay what? Something fragile, I don't know, from here to Spain, for example.
Mhm.
You pay what? $200, right? I mean, just to to place a number on it. Can you imagine? Look at this boat. This boat is not really looking that great.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and you're like, and I paid $200 for that, you know?
Right, it's bubblegum shrimp boat is out there.
Yeah, no, this
Taking my
is
package.
yes, no, this is a really, really good site. And I mean, when you play with it, you have the maps, you have the ports, you have different filters, you have different layers. I mean, this is an excellent site. And again, I always try to introduce a topic, with a talking point, with a collaboration, with just sharing. We're not going deep into it, which you could. I mean, you have tons of information, for a whole. I mean, you can actually do a whole unit, a whole semester just on boats and cargo ships and stuff like that. Because that's another world. You know that you can buy a brand new container. We're talking about, like, the big metal containers, brand new, for close to $2,000. It's cheaper than the sheds that you can get at Home Depot or Menards, made out of wood. That is something like a 5x10 or whatever. This could be a 20 by whatever for $2,000, and those over there, like, close to $2,000 for just a little piece of wood. So definitely, yeah, it's something that it makes you wonder. Also, this is life. Just so you know, this is real time life. So this is not a prediction. It's not a picture. I mean, this is life. It's gonna tell you how many days, the speed, angle, and all the stuff. So this is a very, very good, just intro for activity. Now we're gonna get into the activity. Okay. So let me stop sharing for 1 second. Okay. So for the next part of the activity, okay, we are gonna actually find. We're gonna actually find and track our shipments. So we work for FedEx, or for DHL, whatever. Okay. And our job is to actually find, okay, that boat, that package, somewhere, over the ocean. So as you can see on page, just a little bit down of the site that I was telling you about.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me share again, just to make sure we're on the same page. There you go. Okay. So we were here earlier, right? So if you go down a little bit, you will find a location coordinates. Okay. Now, right here, I was asking for you guys to go back to the file, okay, and find the other one. The reason is because when I cut and paste the page, that sometimes Google, thinks for itself, and starts giving you a bunch of stuff that you didn't want. So the numbers started to change and stuff like that. So what you're gonna do is go back to the main folder, okay, and you're gonna click right here. Okay, it says, how do I track my shipping location?
PDF.
And guess what? Numbers. Okay, so this is something that you should be able to see. All right, we're good.
Those look familiar.
Looks familiar, yeah. Not the same number though. Okay, so now here, I want you guys, once again, if you do it for your kids, you're gonna cut, with the scissors, you're gonna cut every single row. Don't do columns, rows. Okay, so you're gonna use, the whole, pretty much you have to solve 2 problems, right?
I have one question
yes.
when you the first one, should that be an N or an S? There's no letter after the first one.
That's a very good question. And let me answer it this way. What do you think N stands for?
I'm assuming north and south, right?
North, exactly. So S should be south, right?
Mhm.
East should be
East.
east, and west, W should be west, right? There you go. Now, what happens if we have nothing? Let me help you to answer that question. If you go back to the original list that we have open, there you go. Okay, there you go. So if you go back to the original page, the original document, okay, come on. Okay, we stop here. Well, if you go a little bit lower, you will find a beautiful map.
Okay.
Okay, you have a beautiful map with some numbers. Look at that. And what do we have here? 0.
Oh, 0.
And what do we have here? Maybe another 0. So if you have nothing, right, it should be
0. Okay.
0. Okay, you will find out. I'm gonna give you time for you guys to play with it. You will find out, okay, what I meant by, a 0. Now, when you go back to your numbers, what are my numbers? When you go back to the numbers, okay, as you can see, you have 2 columns, right? A bunch of rows. Okay, you don't have to take the first one, just take any, but make sure you take the whole row. Okay, make sure you have the whole row. Why do you need 2 numbers? Why do you think you need 2 numbers, Natasha?
Latitude and
coordinates.
longitude, right?
Exactly, location. So you need your east, your west, so on and so forth. So what I want you to do, okay, imagine that every set of problems is a location for your boat, your container, or whatever. So I'm calling you and be like, you know what? I need information about this shipment. I think this is the location. Where is it at? So you have to go in, and then based on the information, after you solve it, you should be able to find it somewhere over the ocean. If for some reason your coordinates end up in the middle of China, okay, there is a problem. Every single value should be on the water. Okay, every single value should be on the water. All right. Any questions before I let you go?
So we take the whole row, the stuff on the left and the stuff on the right.
Yep. And you
then
should end up
find
with
it
2 numbers.
And then find it on the website map, not this picture, or which
No,
pic- which
on the
map
picture,
is-
on the map,
On the picture, okay.
on the map. Yep.
Right.
On your map.
Got it.
Now something. Look at the key. We have coral reefs. You have shark attack areas, and you have high tsunamis risk. How is that going to affect our shipment?
Weather delays, I guess you could say.
Okay. So I want you guys to take, just because of time, 5 locations. Okay. So imagine that I'm asking for 5 different shipments, and you're gonna tell you just take any, whatever, but make sure you take the whole row. Okay. And then try to find them, and then give me a story. Well, your shipment is here, close to whatever, and it will be delayed or it will be on time, so on and so forth. You have no idea where is it coming from or where is it going. At this point, it's just location. We just need to assess the location of it. Any questions before I let you go? We're good? Natasha, we're good? Yes? Okay. Okay, so how about if I give you, I don't know, 10 minutes. Let's just make it work. Okay, 10 minutes. Even if you're not done in 10 minutes, we'll assess. If you finish early, then let me know. All right.
All right.
Perfect. Get to work.
Yeah.
All right, so if you could go back to the main room, that would be great.
I'm gonna say I had an epic fail on this.
All right, so we are together. We are together because she wanted, by the way, this is really good for mental math. Like trying to get the kids to remember these numbers. Like it's one thing to get them to do it on paper, but like I can imagine my seniors making them do this mentally. Like no piece of paper, I mean, no pen, no nothing. Keep these numbers in your head for like the
It's
calculus
tough.
of the statistics class I taught.
Oh yeah, no, it is tough. And once again, just before jumping into the locations and stuff, once again, it's just a game, but in reality, we're doing tons of math. I mean, you're doing numbers, you're doing coordinates, you're talking about latitude, you're talking about longitude, you're talking about positives, negatives. I mean, you don't see a negative positive, but in a sense, if you divide this into the coordinate plane, you have negatives, you have positives. So no, this is really good. But were you able to find any locations? All right.
We found 5.
5. All right. So
Yay
just
for you.
share with us where's the shipment? Where's the shipment
We
at?
found one that's in the ocean east of South America,
Okay.
one of them in the North Atlantic. I'm sorry, east of South America. One in North Atlantic, just off of Greenland.
Okay.
One of them is parked in Peru.
Okay.
One of them is in the Great Lakes,
All right.
and one of them is near California, directly in the middle of a shark attack region.
All right. That's pretty cool.
Okay, well, I'm gonna need some assistance to make sure I did it right.
Okay.
So one of them I got like 45 south, 15 east. So that means I use the 45 at the bottom of the map and go over to 15, correct? And then, but it was, you said everything is in something, but mine was kind of like in the shark
No, in the
attack.
ocean.
Yeah.
As long
So
as
it
you're
wasn't
not,
like out of
yeah,
place.
as
So
long
I'm
as you
assuming I
are,
may have done my math wrong. Go ahead.
yeah, no, as long as you're not on the ground, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, some people would be like, well, I don't care if it's coral reefs, I don't care if it's shark tank. I mean, it shouldn't affect it. But what happens once again, you go nature versus humans, right? Well, if it's something with the coral, how about if I'm transporting petroleum, for example, or some kind of chemical something or whatever. Okay, many regions will be like, there's no way a boat is gonna go over the reefs. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be a law, could be, whatever. So yeah, definitely, it's something that it's something that the kids don't realize, but we have to make them aware of the fact that it could affect, the situation. For example, right now, the situation with with Russia, I don't think many boats. I mean, I don't think we have that location, especially the water. But I don't think we're gonna have that much transportation in that area right now. You know what I mean?
So on the first one, when you said it was, since it doesn't have a direction, north, south, east, and west, it was on 0, but I got a number there.
Yep. So if you have a
So-
0, for example, how about if I give you a 0, 0? I think there's one
Right,
that is 0, 0.
Right.
So there will be 0, 0. So you're looking at somewhere by Mali, like in this area right here. Oh, sorry.
Right below it,
here.
yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Okay.
Now, something that you might want to do with your kids: do not tell them north, south, east, west, whatever. They will find out. They're in the middle of Spain, then maybe they took the wrong way. So again, let them. And we're not. It's not that we have to let them fail. No, 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 no. They have to practice and they have to explore. Something that it was just amazing when I was teaching I think like pre-calc or something at a high school. I give them a word problem, something very simple, you know, especially when you hit, you know, those kids that are already, you know, beyond trigonometry, they think they know it all. Like, really, you know? So I give them a basic problem. You have 3 miles, you know, you're fixing a road. You have 3 miles, you know, the road is 3 miles long. And, you know, you have to do this and this, you know, so many days, you know, so on and so forth, right? So many hours, so many people, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, the answer, you know, how many, you know, they have been working for 2 days. I don't know, how many more miles or distance do they have to cover? And I made the question, you know, a little tricky, the numbers, that if you just plug it in just like that, you will end up with like, you know, 5 or 7 or whatever. And most of them did end up with a 5 or 7 as an answer. So I'm like, okay, that's great. But how long was the construction site? 3 miles. Okay, so if you were working with 3 miles to start with, you have been already working on it for 2 days, and you still have, you know, 6 miles left. You know, because they don't realize it. You know, they look for the answer, they find the answer. You know, and it's not that it's, I mean, it's wrong, obviously, but you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's just something as simple as, you know, you plug in the wrong number. Yeah, I mean, especially when they're talking about numbers, or for example, quadratic formula. Well, quadratic formula is great, you know what I mean? And you have your negative and your positive, you know, solution and so on and so forth. But if you're talking about money, you know, or about, I don't know, dogs, I don't think you're going to have negative 20 dogs. So I think you're going to go with a positive 20 dogs, you know what I mean? But it's something that our kids don't realize, that a number also has a meaning. So it's just, you know, it's a very fine line, because if you talk about negative money, if you talk about, you know, money per as a value, well, yeah, you can have negative. I mean, that's, you know, you go overdraft on your checking account, or you have a, you know, you have to pay somebody, well, that's negative money. So it is, you know, it is true. It's just, you know, they have to really realize, you know, what's going on. Okay, so I'm not gonna go too deep, because I have 10 minutes, and I want to show you another piece of activity related to this. But at this point, okay, is, and again, another activity that you can manipulate the numbers. Okay, now you can make it. I made this because, you know, we're talking about, you know, cargo ships and all the stuff, right? But if you're talking about anything, just a location per se, you can take any number. You could be in the middle of Brazil. You could be in the middle of wherever, because you have no restrictions. Okay, I restricted to be over the ocean, right? But otherwise, it can be in Mongolia, it could be, you know, whatever the shipment, because you're looking for locations. But, you know, by creating the story, okay, by creating the story behind the numbers and behind the activity, now it's meaningful. And actually on the, I believe on the teacher pages, I specify like what kind of career are you looking at? Even like the starting pay. Even the starting pay, I think it's like close to $18 to $25. Now, some other people could be like, well, I can make it in $18 or $20, you know, on construction, or, you know, selling shoes or whatever. Yeah, you can. But, you know, this is a different situation, because, you know what I mean, it's more like an office, you know, situation, you know, that kind of stuff, and something that the kids need to realize. You know what I mean? And it's just different situation, you know, with different kids, you know, different situation at home and stuff like that. So we have to be, you know, we have to sympathize, you know, with that. But, you know, we have to give them options. Yeah, you have to give them options for our kids to be successful. You know, I mean, this would be a great job if you keep going to, you know, to high school, college, junior college, you know, university or whatever. I mean, it's something that, you know, definitely the logistics is huge. And right now, you know, why do we have shortage of a bunch of products in the store? Because you have no drivers. You have no driver. We have no drivers. We have the trucks. We have, you know, the equipment. We have the product, but nobody's able to move it. So that's an issue, you know, nowadays. Same thing with this. You know, if you don't know where my shipment is at, I'm not gonna ship it to you. I'll go with FedEx, or I'll go with, you know, UPS or whatever. I mean, Amazon, that's an insane, huge company with huge amount, you know, big amount of technology and people behind the scene. Because that's insane when you order something at 5 p.m. today and you can get it tomorrow. I mean, or the same day. I mean, that's insane. So, somebody is taking this job very seriously. So that's something that the kids need to realize. Anything else, Lydia, Natasha, Preston?
Nope, nope. I just had a little trouble with this picture in the doc. So I was trying to cut it out because my numbers went away. So I had to resize it.
Yes, yes. And that's the thing with the with Google, you know, with the Google Sheets. When you transfer it from Word or whatever into it, the whole thing just like goes, you know, everywhere. I'm like, ah. So that's what I placed the files, you know, inside the folder
Got
for
it,
you to, like, you know, connect, and it will be a lot easier. Okay, so for the last 2 minutes, I'm gonna show you the last activity that we're not gonna, you know, have much time to it. But I really want you guys to look at this one. So there you go. I'm gonna be able to see here or here. Okay. So for the last part of activity, and once again, you know, I'm just giving you a bunch of different activities with the same theme, the same story behind it, but you know, you're gonna feel free to chop it, you know, do whatever. Now, as you can see, let's just first analyze the map. So what do you see in the map?
all the continents and the way to ocean, I guess.
The currents. Yep.
currents, yeah.
Yep, the currents. So, yep, ocean currents map. Okay. Now, also, now what you see in the back, okay, you cannot see it here like really good, but you know, hopefully you're gonna be able to see it on your computer. You have A, B, C, D, E, H, G, pa 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 pa. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh,
9.
yeah, okay, yep, I see it.
Okay, so what do we have? Once again, coordinate plane. Okay, so now the question, and I'm just gonna tell you, you know, how to set it up for your kids to do. You're gonna tell your kids to explain, to give you a step-by-step transition for the shipment. Now, why are the currents important? Why are the currents important?
It's gonna affect how quick it is or how slow it is. If they're going against current, it's slower.
Exactly, yes. So it's gonna affect, you know, the speed, right? Why? Because now you can get into a little bit of into physics, because the resistance, you know, so on and so forth, right? Okay. Now, why is that important? I mean, if you have a powerful boat, you can just go, you know, across the ocean with no problem, no matter the current.
Going against current costs you a lot more money because you got to spend more fuel.
Yes. Yes, yes, exactly. Okay, so once again, right now we're talking about money. We're talking about location. Okay, we're talking about efficiency. We're talking about time. Most important, time, right? So the task for your students will be to take one point A to point B, right? So you have to track your shipment going from point A to point B using the currents. Okay, using the currents step by step. Now at the bottom it says, where should we go? You have a departure point and you have an arrival point. So your kids, your students will take the departure point and will, you know, go to the arrival point using the currents. So for example, if I'm here, right, I'm gonna be like, well, I'm starting at ABC8 and I'm gonna do, you know, if you can complicate, you can make it as challenging as possible or as simple as possible. It's up to you. you can assume that every square, all right, every rectangle, I don't know, it's I don't know, 100 miles over 50 miles, you know, whatever number you want. So how long is it gonna take for you to get from here to here, for example, using the currents? So the expectation is for the students to be like, well, I'm gonna start at C8 and I'm gonna, you know, travel like, you know, 90 miles or whatever, you know, to here. And then I'm gonna take this current, you know, like right here to go down. And then I'm gonna have to go up because it's a big circle right here. So even though I can just go from here to here, it's not doable. I mean, it is, but it's gonna be extremely expensive. Okay, time is money. In this case, effort is money. So you don't want to go against the current. So what the student will be like, well, I have to get to here, and then from here I have to go all the way here, and then take this curve all the way down, boom, to South America. I mean, or to Africa in this case. So that's what, you know, the expectation is with the students. Once again, real life situation. Okay, currents are huge. That they're really, really, really important on anything with the ocean. It's the same thing with, you know, same thing with we go to Mars. Okay, we're not just going on Tuesdays. You know, if we have to go to Mars, we have to wait for the perfect angle. We have to wait for this. Why? Because it's really expensive. The fuel is really expensive, plus the time, the food that they have to eat. You know, if we have a crew, it's so definitely it's something that they have to plan.
So I
In
have a
this
quick
case, will be the
question
same. Yes.
on this. Are these currents the same all year round, or do they change when
Yes.
the weather changes?
I mean, it could change a little bit based on the weather.
Mhm.
You know, based on the weather, based on, you know, different situations. But no, the current is there. I mean,
Okay.
it will be there. It will change a little bit, but not, especially now because of the global warming. You have a lot more water, you know, here and there, and the whole thing of the currents is the change in temperature. You have cold water, you have hot water, you know what I mean, and that's how the currents pretty much, you know, change and stuff like that. But so yeah, it will change a little bit, but not significant. No. But
I
I
just
mean,
want to avoid that question when they say, well,
yep.
was winter, is that the same? So I just
Yeah,
want to make
no,
sure.
it would be the same unless, you know, you have I mean, right now you have, you know, snow in Texas. You know, I mean, now you have, I mean, so yeah, definitely the world is changing. Yeah. But you know, it's not gonna be, you know, it's not gonna change a current direction or anything like that. No. Okay, but yeah, you have all this for you. You have the destinations, you have the arrivals, you have your maps. Try to download to Word. It will be a lot easier. If you have any issues with it, you have my email. Okay, and then I can share the documents via you know, with a Word document, because it's a lot easier. You know, otherwise Google it just mess it up, and it's not the same thing. Okay. Any questions before I let you go? There's so much stuff, you know, like we have to I have to like push it, but no, this is another very good way just for, you know, for the kids to play. You know, I love that. You know, we're just gonna play, but I mean, you know, it will be a very good, you know, 2-3 day, and from there you can take it. They can create their own boat. They can create their own country. You know, if you have a shipping company, you know, they can design their logo, their name, the whole story. I mean, we have to connect math and science to, you know, art, to, you know, social studies. You know, it's biology. So why is that such a big problem if you have, you know, petroleum on the ocean? It's gonna go everywhere. That's a big problem. Okay, some countries they don't, you know, they can make money out of it, or they can just deny you the access to it. Who owns the ocean? That's a big question. Who owns it? Is it the country? Is it like an open water? So that's another research paper right there. Okay.
Just
Any
so
questions? Yes, Lydia.
I said you just so deep.
I was actually going to say one more thing, Lydia, which is kind of cool. So you were asking about the currents.
Mhm.
So the amount of melt over the next 5 to 10 years actually might change the currents quite a bit up north. They're going to become you could actually bring that up to your students just to show you understand global warming, the fact that the northern currents are going to become horrifically hard to roll with. In about 10 years, anything the European to American currents might become almost unusable. Like the really north stuff, like near the Arctic Ocean, which
Yeah.
are used a lot.
Yeah, and how much that situation is gonna affect our prices? Big time. Big time. So yeah, and again, it's just a topic, but I mean you can get 50,000 topics out of it. Okay,
Got it.
perfect. Well, thank you for your time. I'm gonna let you go. Feel free to go back to the main one, to the main room, and do your
Eval.
yeah, the stuff of your CPDUs and all the evaluations. And I might even see you next.
See you all
Thank
later.
you guys. Thank
See
you
you
for
later.
everything.
Bye.
Bye bye.